how to use the balance sheet template in D2L. So you will see there's a link to something called the balance sheet template, and that is there to support you as we are building our balance sheet, which is one of the financial statements we are looking at. So you'll see on the left-hand side I've got my assets, right-hand side I've got my liabilities and owner's equity, and you can check our note if you would like to see more information and learn more about assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. So I'm not going to go through what they are because our notes should show you that. What I want to do is I want to show you how to build a balance sheet using this template. So let's say I'm doing a balance sheet for our favorite business, Snowball Incorporated, and let's just pick a random date here. So I'm choosing a date. It's a specific date. It's not for a period like our income statement for the month example. On the left-hand side, I'm going to list all of my assets. And you'll be given these accounts in any sort of question you might have. So let's say we have these, and I'm making these up right now, but in any sort of exercise or assignment, you would see these. So I'm just going to put in some numbers here. And you will see that there's already a format here in your template. So I'm just randomly putting these numbers in just to... Okay. So first thing I can do is let's total up our assets here. So I'm going to go over to my sum function. I'm going to drop that down, choose sum. I'm going to highlight my numbers, and there we go. And I also want to format my numbers. First thing I want to do is let's get rid of those zeros. And to format on a balance sheet, we're going to have dollar signs on the first number in each column and the last number. I now want to put in a single underline under my equipment because I did an equation, and then I put a double underline in here because that's the end of that column. So dollar signs on first and last, and then single underline underneath my equipment, double underline under my total assets. Now let's do our liability side. So let's say we have a bank loan and a mortgage. And then we have total liabilities. Okay, our bank loan was for $25,000, and say we have a mortgage for $120,000. So now I want to add up my liabilities. They equal 145,000. I don't want to autofill. Okay, so let's format this section here. I don't want any decimal places. I want a dollar sign on the first in the column, and then my total liabilities were a formula. So underneath mortgage, I want to put in that single underline. Whoops, it did a double underline for me, so I just need to change the format to single underline. There we go. And now let's put in our equity. So it's going to be the person's first initial, last name, and then the word capital. Now there has to be a way for us to figure this out. And we know from our notes that assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity. So I'm going to do this formula. I'm going to go equal sign. I'm going to click on my total assets, and I'm going to subtract my total liabilities because the leftover amount has to be how much the owner invested in the business. So it's 160,000, and if I did my math right, I'm going to put a single underline here because I'm about to do some more math. If I did my math right, then my capital and total liability should equal 305,000. So to do this, I'm going to do a manual formula that says equals. I'm going to click on my 160, and then I'm going to go plus, which is the shift equals sign. I'm going to click on my 145, and I'm going to hit enter, and beautiful, it is 305,000. I want to add a dollar sign, get rid of my decimal places, and then I want to put in a double underline. And just like that, you've got yourself a balance sheet, assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity, dollar signs on first and last, single underlines where I'm going to do some calculations, and then double underlines under my total assets at the very last $305,000 number, and for total liabilities and owner's equity. And you can access this template for every single exercise that you are working on. All right, thank you everyone, and be sure to fast forward, rewind, pause as you need.